After an extremely promising start to the new ground effect Formula 1 era, Ferrari has started allowing mistakes to creep into its work. That came to a head in the Monaco Grand Prix when it blew a chance of a 1-2. Former championship leader Charles Leclerc came away reeling as he slipped 9 points behind defending champion Max Verstappen. Meanwhile, Ferrari team principal Matteo Binotto said there needed to be an explanation to truly understand what went wrong. Well, the jam-packed Formula 1 calendar hasn't been too generous in that respect, but one weekend without a race has given the Scuderia at least a small window in which to reflect and softly reset ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It must now bounce back in Baku, a task made significantly harder by the expectation that this is a track that should favour chief rival Red Bull. Ferrari's best efforts to create its own downfall in 2022 have actually been on display for the last 4 rounds now, and as each of those races has passed, the cost of their errors has only increased. After the promise shown by the Ferrari F175 in the early part of the new season, it was in front of the Tifosi at Imola that the cracks began to properly appear. The persistent rain on the Friday of the Emilia-Romagna weekend washed the track surface to truly expose for the first time that Ferrari has a tyre graining problem. As for the rest of the weekend, while Leclerc would infamously spin chasing after Sergio Perez, he had been put on that course after Ferrari had dropped the ball with a pit stop 1.4 seconds slower than Red Bull. Next time out, in preparation for the inaugural Miami Grand Prix, Leclerc gave himself a leg up by landing pole by 2/10 as his one-lap supremacy continued. But as Ferrari's tyre degradation bag habits lingered, Leclerc was swiftly dropped to second place by a rapid Verstappen. But luckily that wasn't too much of a critical blow, for the immensely long Floridian back straight and the sweeping second sector meant Miami was likely always going to favour the Red Bull top speed advantage from its Honda engine anyway, so the points dropped by Ferrari were effectively decent levels of damage limitation. Besides, the Scuderia could fight back with its low speed acceleration prowess in the next 2 races at tight Spain and Monaco. Leclerc avoided embarrassment at Barcelona by bouncing back after his early Q3 spin at the chicane to nail a brilliant pole position. And almost certainly after Verstappen ran over the gravel at turn 4 after his little rear end lose, the Monegasque driver had that race well and truly sewn up, before his engine expired that was. Perhaps you might consider the retirement at Barcelona as a bit of overdue unreliability for Leclerc to balance the books against Verstappen. After all, the Red Bull twice let go in Bahrain and Australia, plus Verstappen also endured less costly clutch, overheating and DRS gremlins at Imola, Miami and Barcelona respectively. But what transpired for Ferrari and Monaco is far harder to overlook. Ferrari's gutsy engine meant a 5th pole for Leclerc and a 2nd front row lockout of the turn for the team. But amid the wet weather chaos, the strategists dressed in red were much too reactionary in their attempts to protect a win. That allowed Perez, then running in a distant 3rd, to make his switch to the intermediate tyres 2 laps earlier than race leader Leclerc, while Verstappen covered off the lead Ferrari by pitting at the same time. Perez's earlier stop put him on a powerful undercut. His outlap was decent, but then his next time around, he lapped a brutal 7 seconds faster than Leclerc as the track conditions changed to effectively give the Mexican the jump into the lead of the race. Having been caught out, Ferrari panicked. It then stopped Leclerc again for slicks just 3 laps later, but that was much too short a window to offset the damage by running through the speed restricted pit lane anyway. Only adding to Leclerc's anger, which was now bubbling away, he was told to pit and then to stay out when the pit wall panicked. As the wind slipped away, little wonder he resorted to expletives over team radio. And don't forget that at this point, Ferrari had already cheesed off its driver in Q1 and Q3 by sending him out to lap in traffic, and it had also delayed him behind Sainz with that double-stacked pit stop. As his home hoodoo struck again, Leclerc didn't hide his chagrin during the red flag caused by Mick Schumacher's crash. He knew some 40 laps before the checkered flag that Ferrari had let the win go. Leclerc's verdict was this: there have been a lot of mistakes and we cannot afford to do that. We are extremely strong now, the pace is strong, we need to take these opportunities. We cannot lose so many points like this. It is not even from 1st to 2nd, it is from 1st to 4th. Spain and Monaco by their nature were ready-made for Ferrari to end Verstappen's momentum. Instead, the champion could come away with 3rd despite what was probably his most quiet weekend of the season. Ferrari gifted those points to him as it chucked away a win in Spain and then a 1-2 in Monaco to lose the lead of both championships. The campaign is now almost a third of the way through, and Ferrari's best chance to end the 14-year drought for another championship trophy is under serious threat. The performance unlocked in Spain, courtesy of a significant upgrade, remains a cause for optimism, but now the paddock heads to Azerbaijan and Canada, where Red Bull is expected to be on top. Ferrari goes there with slightly damp powder after being exposed by indecision at a wet Monaco. Given reliability problems have stopped Red Bull from seriously piecing together a full weekend to potentially win by more than a minute, which it has looked capable of doing, Ferrari must strike back very soon to ensure that this remains a title fight for the ages.